looking at cybercrime and privacy, and we would want to start with a question because I know this question will come up anytime I get opportunity to present to groups like this. These questions come up, so let's clear that question before we do any other thing. And please, if you have anything you want to say and you don't want to disrupt the class, you can put it in the chat room. We'll read it out. And so I always say that if you are shy to talk, please you put it in the chat room. We'll attend to it. And so the question is, what are your thoughts on understanding how offenders commit cybercrimes? Do you think it's beneficial for fighting them, or should researchers like myself and Prof report the few cases that we have or we have witnessed? Okay. Because most often than not, when we present, people ask, so are you not complicit? Why don't you report the case to the police? Okay, so the people that we interview in our research, why don't we report them to the police? And so the question then comes that, should we report them or should we learn how they operate so that we would better educate ourselves with what we know from them? And so let's have a few minutes of discussion on this, 5 minutes, and then we'll continue. Anybody can talk, please. Anybody can talk. We want to clear this question off before we start the presentation. So anybody can talk. Yes, Anthony, please go ahead.
Before we can work on it, we need to learn how they operate and think ahead of them because they are always ahead of us.
Right, right. So that's from Anthony. So there's no point reporting them as a researcher. Should we report them at all?
You are reporting them, you need to go with evidence. You can't just report them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, any other? Thank you so much, Anthony. Any other opinion on this?
I think it should be a combination of both. Understand how the offenders commit the crimes they do, then equally report them. Because I feel when we understand how they commit their crime, we can create defenses. Yeah, something like that to mitigate what they do behind the scenes.
Okay, thank you, Edith. Let's take 2 more views on this. So we learn from them and report them. Okay. God's way.
In my view, I think if you report them, it will deter other people from sharing their experience or what they know to you. So it's good if you play along with them or just advise them that they should stop. That's all.
Okay. Okay. So we have 2 divergent opinions here. One says we should learn from them. Other says we should learn from them and report them. Okay. One last view on this. Michael, your microphone is on. You want to talk? One last opinion. Yes, Mami.
Okay, thank you. I think they should be reported, certainly, but in the reporting, I think that there should be a specialized crime unit that will be able to study their activities and then react accordingly. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you to all speakers. The the issue is that okay, we'll get to know more, but the issue is that if you report them, like one of you said, it will deter others from coming up with data. Okay. And also, if we report them, we won't be able to learn from them. And so when you go on the field to collect data, some of you may be going to data governance and all those. If you go on the field to collect data, you need to assure the people that the data that they are giving to you will be treated only for academic purposes. And so that assurance that you are not going to reveal their identities and all those will come up so that you have the trust of the people that, okay, we know what you are doing is wrong, but we also need to understand what you are doing. Okay, so we'll look at how I went about my data collection for my thesis. So this kind of work I've been doing with Prof since 2016. And so next year will be our 10th anniversary on researching on cybercrime. And so we've been talking to these people for almost a decade. And so we know quite a lot about them. However, things change. Okay. Now we have AI and how they're using AI to commit the offense, how they leverage AI to commit the offense and all those. So we'll go through some of these things. And so tonight we are looking at exploring how cybercrime exploits digital platforms. Okay, and we'll bring in the individual bits also. And then we'll explore some cases. In fact, when we went to the field, our last data collection was last year, November. Yes, last year, November. And so we'll treat some of the real cases that we have. And so now, one question that Prof has been asking in this kind of classes is data is the new oil, and you had discussed. So let's have a brief discussion on that. Data is the new oil. We are saying data is is the lifeblood of modern digital economies. So let's put them together and then discuss them, and then we'll look at the other side of it. Okay. So let's have a brief discussion on the data is the new oil. Discuss. Imagine you have this in your exam. What are you going to say? Or better still, you can take data is the lifeblood of modern digital economies and discuss it. Let's have a minute discussion or two. Yes, anybody can talk, please. This is supposed to be interactive, so let's interact, okay? I've been joining this class in silence, so I know how you talk in this class. I'm not a stranger to this class. Please let's have a discussion. Data is the new oil, or data is the lifeblood of modern digital economies. Let's have a discussion. Who wants to go first? Yes, Anthony, please go ahead.
Most business decisions are taken based on data they receive.
Okay, most businesses base their decisions on data that they receive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like Amazon,
okay.
they have a whole data of customers.
Okay.
So they know the pattern, they know what they buy on a specific days. So when you go to the shop on a specific day, they have a particular product they sell.
Okay.
Based on customer buying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we are seeing personal data and transactional data here.
Yes.
And these are the kind of data my people are interested in. This is one of them. Yes, please, any other? Let's have another opinion on this. Yes, Vanessa. Esther, you talk after Vanessa. Vanessa, please go ahead.
So just like oil, data is a very valuable resource that we have, but before we can get like insights from it or use it for any other business decision making, we have to refine it, just like we do to oil, to be able to really obtain its value.
Okay. So on the back of what you just said, cyber offenders would have a lot of data, like people's credit card and all those. They test the credit cards to check which ones are valid before they go into using them. We'll look at it. The next person, please, Esther, please go ahead.
For me, I'll say that data is compared to oil because it has to be extracted or it has to be collected and then processed to get whatever information that you need. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Just like those in the mining sector, do we have galamsey in oil? This just came to mind. Do you have galamsey in oil extraction and all those? Are there people who do black marketing in that?
Yes, please.
There are. Okay. So just as data can be used for valuable things, okay. When you go behind that, let me give an example. You notice that when you go to transact or engage in mobile money transactions, the people may give you a paper to write your mobile money number, okay, and the amount you are transferring or withdrawing. Okay. Have you ever thought of it that these people can sell your data? Have you ever thought of that?
No, please.
Not thought of that. Okay. And so these are the kinds of data that the offenders are interested in. And so you can't trust anywhere and anybody at all you transact mobile money with business with. Because the kind of data, my people will tell me that the numbers that, in fact, the people that I've interviewed so far, we've not encountered um um um, um one-on-one with those who do mobile money fraud. But this is based on secondary data from the people the cyber criminals that we've interviewed, that some mobile money operators sell the numbers to them. So you'll be there and somebody will call you, oh, I'm the painter who came to paint your house. And meanwhile, you've not painted your house. Okay. And so these are the kinds of data, personal data. So now what's happening is that they pick your number from them, they go to MTN's Momo app, check your number, and then when they'll call you, they will mention your name. Okay, because the Momo app has been registered, I mean, your number has been registered to MTN or whichever platform it is, whichever network it is. And so when they get the number, they call you and mention your name so that they will establish that relationship with you, that yes, you know them. Okay, and so these are the kinds of data that these individuals are interested in. This is one point that they get the data. And when you look at those who usually engage in, now they call it giveaway. So you go on social media and people are saying, like Shatawale will say, I'm doing giveaway. So put your number out there and then the money will be transferred to you. The criminals are also there mining the numbers. Okay. I think I had some screenshots. I don't know whether I put it in this, but they go on Twitter and they say giveaway, and then they put out people start putting out their numbers together with their names, and those are the information that such individuals are interested in. Okay, now let's move on. So, where is the intersection? Okay, between data and cybercrime? I've just explained to you that such individuals are interested in the kind of data that I've mentioned, personal data, transactional data, and personal data can be your name. And when you have your number attached to it, that's good for them. You'll be very unlucky when you have your, okay, in our context, we'll say a Ghana card number. Okay, but these individuals, when they are talking to the people they call their clients, who establish all those things in later slides. They are interested in their social security numbers. In our case, we'll call that a Ghana card number. So the moment they get your name, your social security number, yes, yeah, they are done with you. Okay, but how do they get these numbers? Most of the times they will do phishing. Okay, if they don't succeed in doing their phishing activities, they will go on to establish relationship with you, and then they will go deeper into socially engineering you. Social engineering means that, or social engineering means that they will talk to you, okay, excite your conscience, okay, so that you'll be able to give them the data, or they'll be able to extract the data that they are looking for from you. So they'll establish a relationship with you for over a year. Sometimes I'll show you the timeline also. Okay, just trying to know you and then getting establishing the trust between a boyfriend and a girlfriend, in this case, a young boy and an old woman. Okay. And they establish the relationship and then they start extracting such information from you. So your name, your address, we'll look at how the addresses also come in. But most importantly, it is the name and the social security number. And so they do that by doing phishing, but most of the time they do social engineering. The case where we have malware is not too common in Ghana because the focus of Ghanaians who commit, or people within the sub-region here who commit cyber offenses or romance scams, let's put it that way, are mostly extrinsically motivated, meaning that they are not interested in hacking people's computers and say, oh, I feel good for doing that. But the moment they decide to go into cyber offenses, that means they are looking for something that they can carry along and say, okay, I got this from this. I got this money from what I do. Okay. And so this is by way of introduction. Let's go deeper into what cybercrime is. Please, I hope you are all following. I feel alone in the class. I hope you are all following.
Yes.
Doc.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Right. So what is cybercrime? Let's establish this definition before we move on. There are some offenses that we call cybercrime, which are actually not cybercrime. Now, a researcher called Don Parker, I used his work, I think 1970 something, I've forgotten the year. Don Parker established the differences between what you call computer abuse, okay, and what cybercrime is. So someone picks your phone and the person takes a paper and writes a particular number, which you are not aware of, writes the number and takes the number away. That is a computer crime or computer abuse, because there is no element of transfer of data, or there's no element of network. Or let's put it this way, there's no element of internet in quotes. Okay. Another example is when someone takes a computer or takes your computer angrily and smashes it on the floor. That cannot be established as a cybercrime. That would be a computer abuse. And so when you take this particular case to the police station, they will not take you to the cybercrime unit. They will take you to proper police. I don't know what they will term that. But the moment you introduce the elements of the internet or the networks, then you are engaging in cybercrime. So the person who took the number from your phone, when the person transfers the number by WhatsApp and deletes the conversation, that conversation of the transfer of the number, that will be looked at as a form of cybercrime. Okay, that will be looked at as a form of cybercrime. And so let's establish the difference. Cybercrime is any crime or any criminal activity that involves computers. That is number one. Then the most important thing is the networks, okay, to commit fraud, theft, or harm. But tonight, most of the discussions that we'll be having will revolve around cyber romance scams. Why romance scam? Romance scam is a bag full of different forms of cyber crimes. And so you may find a bit of phishing in there, you may find a bit of hacking in there, even though the offenders we spoke to themselves were not the hackers. You may find a bit of identity theft in there. You may find a bit of cyberbullying in there, a bag pregnant of a lot of crimes. Okay, and so we'll look at all this. So what at all is the online romance scam or romance scams that I spoke about? So people establish relationships with people of opposite sex. And so when you talk to someone that you don't see, it may be a man who is pretending to be a woman, or it may be a woman who is pretending to be a man. Okay. One thing we've been trying to establish is the involvement of women in romance scams. Our problem has been that they don't come out to talk to us. Okay, so please, if you know anyone like that, please connect us. They don't come out to talk to us. So we want to establish that gender role in the commission of romance scams. And so romance scams, okay, is when an offender creates fake identities, okay, and then within a period of time, they develop trust. That's by establishing an emotional bond with the victims. The victims in their context are called clients. So when you hear me saying clients, you are talking about victims or would-be victims. Okay. And then these individuals take advantage of the love and trust that they establish, okay, to exploit them financially. And so we'll look at the timelines and then we'll move on to look at some examples. Now, who are these people? Mostly these people are within 20s, okay, and 30s. We have people older than that. But please take a look at this picture. These are people who are not even 15 years. The picture that you are seeing there, we collected this data, I think, in 2018 or so. These boys are not 15 years. And so we have individuals whose parents even pay for them at the cafes, those days, okay, to go and engage in romance camps. And so when you look at the screens over there, you notice that they are all looking at the same, screen, okay, or their screens are identical. Now, so establishments here that romance scammers are between 20s and 30s is based on the data that we have and people that we have spoken to. But there are people who are younger than 20 and people who are older than 30. And these people are eye lovers. Eye lovers means that iPhone, iWatch, iMac, MacBook, everything they are there. It doesn't mean if you are an eye person, then you are there. No. For instance, myself, all my machines are, eye products, but I'm not one of them. But these people typically are eye lovers. They tell me that one particular, I think M2, I've forgotten the brand that it actually aided them in engaging in some form of AI related manipulation. I'll look for the data and share with you. Okay, so if you see people, an offender, just look at the kind of machines the person uses, and then you'll be able to establish for a fact. That doesn't mean anybody using eye products are offenders. Then they are mostly school dropouts. But the last data that we collected, that was in November 2024 for an ECOWAS project, Prof led that project. We actually spoke to university graduates who were investing their monies back into society to start a kind of business. That's a cover-up. So you see the person going out to sell cars and computers and all those. That is just a cover-up to what the person actually does. Okay, but we want to establish the fact that most of them are school dropouts, but we have individuals who are actually in universities. We had three students that we collected data from for a paper also last year. Paper was published this year though, who were actually university students. They were students then as at the time. And then some of them, for most of them, online romance scams are their only source of is their only source of income. And when you go deeper into their private lives, they mostly come from poor families. Okay. Now, so let's go deeper and see what we need to establish online romance scams or cybercrimes. Now, for crimes to happen or for crimes to take place, first of all, the item that the offender needs or the item that needs to be stolen must be there. We are not talking about cybercrime now. We are talking about just normal crimes. And so if there is a phone if someone wants to steal the phone must be present. Okay. And so in traditional crimes, we'll call that item the victim. Okay. But in cybercrime, the victim then becomes the object that the offender targets. Now, I've mentioned the victim and then the item, and I've also mentioned offender. So once the item or the victim is present, then there must be someone who is motivated to commit that offense. And that is the offender, that is the attacker, that is the perpetrator. But within the framework of the commission of crimes, there must be no one watching. The moment there is someone watching, then crime will not occur. And so Felsen and Cohen in 1979 propounded a theory called the routine activity theory, which states that for crime to occur, the three components that I've mentioned must be present: the offender, the victim, and the absence of deterrent agents, which we call absence of capable guardians. So nobody must be watching. If there is a CCTV camera present on the scene of the offense cannot happen. Even if the offense occurs, CCTV camera will capture the person and the person will be arrested. Okay, and so these three elements must be present for crimes to occur. Now, in our research, so we are not going deeper into what you see on the screen now, but in our research, we tried to establish the triggers of cybercriminal behaviors. We also tried to look at how their behaviors change over time. From the beginning, I mentioned that the offense that we are looking at currently keeps changing. In 2016, when we started collecting data, we started from the internet cafe. Today, we can't even find one. Okay. Now, AI is dominant in the modern day cyber offenses. And so the behaviors change over time due to evolution of technologies and even how platforms strengthen their security, or they heighten their security measures. Okay. And then we also look at the strategies that these offenders use to find, prime, and then defraud the offenders. And so these are the three things that will guide our discussions tonight. Now, for one to commit an offense, in our view, the person must be motivated. The person must have some opportunities, and opportunities are the absence of capable guardian, the one that we spoke about. So if there is no camera, the person has an opportunity to commit the offense. If the victim is present, the person has that opportunity. Then there is that gang culture. Those days, you go to a cafe and you see a lot of people, they're not browsing, but they are standing outside and having their own conversations. Okay, so these are all breeding grounds for offenders to commit their offenses. But being motivated and having the opportunity is not enough for one to commit an offense. The person must possess what we call ability. Ability comes in two forms. The person must have technical ability, that is how to manipulate systems, how to change faces of individuals that he wants to use to deceive people. And the person must also possess what we call social ability, have the ability to tell stories, have the ability to keep somebody in the conversation for hours before defrauding the person. Okay, so ability is not just technical, but ability is technical, both technical and social. But no one commits an offense without a reason. And so they try to rationalize the kinds of offenses they commit. And so, the victims that we even defraud, we don't know them. So even if they die, we don't know. If they don't get injured. So why are you even concerned about them? Then they have what we call social weighing. Social weighing comes in the form of they comparing what they do to what others are doing. So now look at Galamsey. If you say we should stop Galamsey, do you want me to go and commit traditional crimes, robbery? And so what I'm doing is better than killing people. So they compare what they are doing to what others are doing. Let me say this. When we're collecting data, that was in 2018 or 2019, one of them asked me a question. He said we shouldn't call them cyber criminals. And so we noticed that in my discussions tonight, or in my presentation tonight, I've been referring to them as offenders. They said they are not criminals. Fine, we understand. The guy asked me that he's not a criminal. Okay. But if you look at what he is doing, everybody does it. Let me ask the class. I believe you have watched a movie or two over the weekend. If you watched it on Netflix, okay, was the account your account or somebody's password that was shared with you and then you watched it? my people will tell you that you are also a cyber criminal. Established. Another one, the software that your church is using to project the hymns and things on the project on your screens. Did they buy it? If they didn't buy it, then they are all going to hell, according to my people. Okay. And so this is how they compare what they do with what others are doing. And they will tell you that what they are doing is not anything. It is not crime. Unless you also come and join them with what you are doing. That you are downloading movies without paying piracy, which is also another form of cybercrime. Okay. And so that's established. Now, how do we collect data? Or what considerations did we use in collecting the data? We assure them of their confidentiality, I think of confidentiality and anonymity. Okay. That we are not going to expose them. So the question that we asked from the beginning, that is established. The data that we collected, we are not going to give it to anybody. We are going to use it for academic purposes. Then, as for open data, even though some part of the thesis was sponsored, where we didn't share the data with anybody, then we had to find a fine line between morality and what they are doing. And so we would ask them questions. Okay. But we will not ask them questions on what they are currently doing or what they are planning. We ask them questions on what they have done before. And so reporting them would mean that we should report what they are planning to do or what they are currently doing. Okay. So we went through about 8 of them put together by Hutchins and Holtz in 2018. And so our data collection, we used 37 individuals coming from different areas, some from the bank, some being lawyers, okay, the offenders themselves, some from the place that we spoke to, that we want us to report. And also one of them was from the BNI, I remember. But yeah. Okay. Please, if you have any question, you can you can ask. Okay, I can see some questions in the chat room. So I'm seeing fraud triangle. I'm seeing fraud triangle. Michael, we don't want to talk on that. I know the fraud triangle though. Yeah.
So it's just an aspect of what you're talking about, the opportunity,
Yeah.
the motivation, just the three. And then I think later the model was improved to add the social abilities and so on and so forth.
Right. So the fraud triangle talks about the motivation, opportunity, and capability. Then it was advanced to include rationalization. And so
Yes,
the rationalization then became the fraud diamond.
exactly.
Yeah. So we used that in our first paper, which was nominated for best paper, was in 2020. We were
Well,
trying
congratulations.
please congratulate Prof for me. We were trying our theories and we chanced on that. We used it though. Yeah. Yes. So we don't get time to watch movies. Hey, God's way. Yeah, that's it. Anyway. Okay, so what are some of the evidence that we got from the field? I mean, on the field that when we were conducting our study. And so I've established the fact that these individuals are mostly eye people. Their interest is in buying electronics, okay? And then some fraudulently obtained designer goods. And what people don't know is that people within the value chain of cyber offenses, most of them do not know that what they are doing is actually cyber offense, apart from the criminals. And so somebody may buy 10 sets of, 10 laptops or 10 phones, route it through the airports genuinely, okay, get through to the airport, find someone within the airport who doesn't know that the person is committing an offense. Please, I will establish the differences here. There are two kinds of people, agents in the airport. We got this data just recently about the two kinds of people they use at the postal agencies. Now, some of them are just people who are trying to help. Oh, so my party B, I want to help him to collect some goods. So the person will pay everything. So everything that is needed to be paid, the person will pay just to fast track the clearing of the items from the port. This person is genuinely helping somebody, but finds himself in the value chain of cyber offenses. He doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, he's just helping a friend. Then there are people who are there, who are part of the syndicates. So the things will come, they'll fast track it. Okay, they'll use all means to get the items cleared, whether foul means or genuine legitimate means, to get the items cleared. Now, the moment the items are cleared, they get their cut, and then business is done. I'll explain the players in this space shortly. So let's look at this diagram. Very complicated diagram, but we'll break it down. Now, these offenders operate in groups. Recently, we saw in the news that some groups of offenders had been rounded up. So when the immigration and the police conduct their suits, they publish it and say, oh, we found this group of people at Ueja, we found this group of people here. So you notice that they operate in groups. Now, even though most of them are males, they have female accomplices. And so notice that we didn't put the female avatar in the circle, but just within the circle and out of the circle. Why would a female be needed in this space? Let's establish it. These individuals may come, okay, present themselves to you as a female, and that is when they talk to men. When they are talking to men, that means they are putting themselves out as females. Okay. Now, so what happens when they talk to men? The men who come online to come and look for females to talk to most of the time are the praise. So they are coming to look for people to exploit. So female, okay, so take off your dress and take pictures for me, dance in front of the camera and all those, and do that for me. And so they do that in exchange for money. Okay, so you notice that the blue, this particular blue here, one, is when they establish relationship with their male counterparts. And so when this relationship goes on for a while, take off your dress and take a picture for me. Then the lady will take, okay, if I do that, you give me $50, $100. Okay. Do you want videos? If I do videos, then we'll go to $500 or something. Okay. And so they negotiate with these people. And when that relationship goes on for a while, these people blackmail the male clients that they had taken advantage of them. Okay. And so they've taken their videos, they've taken their naked pictures and all those. And so if they do not send a particular amount of money, they will report them to the FBI. Or they would also publish their naked pictures. Notice that when they exchange those things, not just for money, but the other counterparts would also send some naked pictures. If you don't do that, we'll publish your naked pictures online. And so when those monies are sent to the banks, because these people post as females, they can't go to the bank. It's the female here who go to the bank. That is the first one. So we call that the victim-led approach. Okay. Then let's look at the scammer-led approach. That is when they come in to pose as males. And first of all, what they do is that because the end goal of the relationship that they want to establish is not to remain in the relationship, but to purchase items out there and bring them to Ghana. They first of all would have to get credit cards from the black market. They told me that most of the black market dealers are Russians. Now, when they get the credit cards from there, I missed a slide. There was a picture I wanted to show, but I think I didn't add it. when they get the credit card numbers, Godfrey, please. Oh, I have two questions. Godfrey, please go ahead. And Agnes, you'll do that after Godfrey.
Please, I think because you're using a mouse, you are finding it very difficult to know where exactly you're pointing and what exactly you're relating to.
Sorry. Can you see now? My mouse is somewhere here on the
Yeah,
one.
but sometimes it goes, I can't see anything again.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Right. Thank you. Agnes, please go ahead.
Okay. You see, you are talking about the credit card issues,
Yes,
but
please.
I feel that sometimes it's not like they are buying the credit cards on the black market. You have the people they are involved in the romance scam getting the credit cards for them. I work with a shipping company, and there are instances that packages get to our address in New York, and you have the shipper's credit card in them. Like everything, the informations are there. So he's sending the card to somebody here, and the person will use the card for purchases. Because this whole thing, sometimes I feel like the shipping companies they also form part of it. Because they know clearly that the items they are receiving are fraudulent items. But for them, theirs is the money. Once you are able to, but there are some street shipping companies like from Germany, when you are shipping something from Germany, my office like this, they normally request for the original invoice. And the person sending the item to you, they call to confirm the person is aware it's coming to Ghana. The person says, I'm not aware. They tag the package as fraud, then they just either report to the police or they'll return it back to the person. So if all these things, most of the shipping companies in Ghana are involved. They are doing it indirectly, but they just don't openly say that this is the items you are receiving are fraudulent items. And customs is also aware of it. They are all aware that the items that are coming, they are all fraudulent items. But everybody just wants the money, then they just close the case.
Right. Thank you so much, Agnes. So it's something that we're trying to establish here, where I believe you can see the mouse now, where the shipping companies and the postal agencies are part of the whole syndicate. Okay. Thank you so much, Agnes, and one other person spoke. I've forgotten their name. Okay. So what we're trying to say is that these individuals, how they get their cards in literature has been found out that when you buy something from let's say a supermarket here, the tellers, are they tellers or cashiers? Okay, they also have their own swipe machines that they swipe the card, and the moment they swipe, they take your details. Okay, now Prof also has a test. Is it testimony? An experience where his card was used somewhere. Okay, without his knowledge. He later got to find out. Okay, some people would take your card to the back room. Oh, the card is not working. Let's check from the other machine. They go and photocopy your card, the front and back. They have your details. And so these details are sold to the black market people. And then the offenders here would then go to the black market, pay them in Bitcoin, whatever amount they want to pay to get the cards. They get quite a number of cards using $100 or whatever. Okay, get the cards and then come and test them. How do they test them? So number one here, and then number two here. Can you see the number two here? In trying to find out how much money they have on the cards, they will use the cards to buy smaller gift items. So like flowers, like watches, like rings and all those. Okay. And then ship those items to their clients. Number three. Okay.
What?
When the items are shipped to the clients, now they have established that they have monies on the cards. Now, when this is done, somebody's mic is on. Agnes, your mic is on. Okay. So, Anna, please, I'll call you. Sorry, let me finish this one and I'll call you. When this is done, they now know that there is money on the card. Then they'll start buying things on Amazon and those big platforms because they've established the money on the card, and so they can start buying items. And then these items, because most of these items cannot be shipped directly to Ghana, they will ship them to their clients who do not know that the items that this person or the card that this person is using is actually a stolen card. And then this will be shipped to the postal agency or the shipping agency here with their insider man, and then they get. Okay, so notice that all the activities under the dotted line or dashed lines here are local activities, and those above it are activities that are outside the scope of Ghana. Okay, and so the shipping agencies and the postal agencies are all part of this, but most of them do not know. Okay. Right, Hannah, please go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to ask a question on the credit card issue, like you were saying. I think you said somebody has an experience like that. Sometimes I don't know why, whether it is regulatory or it's the institutions, because initially when you have a credit card and somebody makes a purchase, there before even through MFA came, authentication came, there used to be a way that you confirm, like they will send you something like a key, a code for you to confirm. Then all of a sudden, everything it went out of the system. So I don't know if it's a customer experience thing that brought it maybe to the convenience of the customer, because initially I thought it was a Ghana thing, but it looks like it's everywhere. They don't no more check anything when you buy online. It's only when you are doing like a transfer from the card to something else, then they will now let some institutions allow you to confirm that you are transferring this amount. But if it's online, they just get your the PIN, the card numbers, and then behind it, the number that is there, and that's it. There's no prompt, no confirmation, no nothing. Then the person is gone with your money.
Yeah, right.
As to what caused that is maybe what we should be looking at. We know the customer is always right, but if it's going to cause us this loss of money, then I don't think that this one can be classified as a CX principle.
I get you, Anna. You are right. You are right. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
So, the traffic there, unfortunately, afterwards, then it's.
So, was it last week or last 2 weeks? I heard Prof telling you guys that you need to have a separate card for transacting certain businesses online. Also, was it this class? Now, you notice that when you let's assume AliExpress. Okay, if you are using your card on AliExpress, the moment you go there to buy another thing again, maybe tomorrow or next week or whatever, they do not ask you for authentication. And people have had experiences, was it Prof who shared with us again, that somebody was pressing something on his TV and then not knowing the person was buying something. The person also didn't know. Okay. And so you need to look at all this. Now, so what you can do is to use maybe one card that's okay. The moment you want to buy something, you just deposit money on that card and then use it. When you are done, you are done. Because this, whilst I'm doing this, I'm also being cautious not to teach some of us some of these things. But for these people to establish that there is money on the card, okay, they do what I told you. But then when you go on Amazon, have you bought on Amazon before? What is your this thing, your name on Amazon and all those things? The person would establish all those things. And so the person can purchase items on Amazon without your notice. Okay. Now, also when they are buying the credit cards from these people, from their black market guys, okay. Cards that do not come with names have their prices. Cards that come with names have their prices. Cards that come with names and social security number also have their prices. Okay, and so if you do not have the social security number, they have a platform that they check. I don't want to mention, but they have a platform that they go and check all these things on to establish that okay, this card is related to this person, and then they start using it. Okay, Right. Someone is saying, or you create a virtual card. Yes. 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 Okay, Hannah. Yes, you can create a virtual card. Yeah. And so this is the timeline. Typically, within the first month or two, they stalk when they are stalking, that means they are following your digital traits, okay, your digital trails, and they will try and learn about you, learn more about you. So what is this person doing that I can leverage on? Okay. And then while doing that, they might have created an attractive profile to present to you. Now, when they present the profile to you within the second month, okay, to the fourth month, you may accept it. And within that space, they will groom you. So grooming means that they are walking you through um the early stages of love, where the love bomb you. Okay. So I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I like that. Do you like flowers? I like this. All those things come up here. Okay. Now, within the fourth to fifth month, okay, they might have bought the credit cards and then authenticate the legitimacy of the relationship that they are having with you. Okay. And also within that same period, they might have tested the credit cards. And so buying you flowers are all part of the love bombs. Okay. Buying you flowers and all those things. And then they begin purchasing items just to validate the credit card. Okay. Now, when they buy items and send to their clients, it is not just love bombing. No. It is to get the addresses of the clients too. And so what you see here, when the flowers are shipped to those, oh, I want to buy you flowers, but I can't send the flowers to you without knowing your address. And so can I get your address? It is to get your address so that other items can be shipped to you. Okay, so they won't come, oh, please give me your address. And no, they want to find a way of getting the address without you even knowing. Okay. Now, typically, a typical romance scam would be that, okay, we want to establish a family. And so I'll leave where I am to come and join you and all those. And so during that period, they would forge plane tickets, flight tickets, and all those things. They will forge all those. And when it is time to come home, they will fake sickness or robbery. And that is when you would have to send a large sum of money or a huge sum of money for them to sort things out. And then that will be the end of the relationship. Okay. Now, some will terminate the relationship and some will come back to re-victimize you. Re-victimization means that this was propounded by Witty in 2016. I've forgotten the year, but it's 2016 also. Re-victimization means that, no, it's 2018, sorry, Witty 2018. Re-victimization means that some victims want to know that I have been defrauded. I want to find the person. You come and find the person, and they will re-establish a relationship, and the person will re-victimize you. Okay. And so some will terminate the relationship, some will come back seeking the truth behind the scam, and then they will get back to being victimized again. And so that is how that goes. Now, we've spoken about some of these things. This is talking about delivery and all those. I think we can skip some of them. And so what are we seeing here? This is quite confusing, but it talks about the timeline. The timeline that we are seeing here is broken down into what actually happens in that space. Now, the offenders, first of all, will create profiles, okay, on digital platforms as we have here, and then search for suitable, on dating platforms, not the digital platforms, sorry, and search for suitable targets on the dating platforms. Now, this was typical during the times that we were collecting data, but currently they can even do it on social media, on ordinary Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whichever social media space. Okay. Now they search for these people and then stalk and wink. Stalking means following them. Winking means inviting them. Okay. So when they send friend requests, let's use Facebook for example. They send friend requests. The moment the friend request is rejected, they go back. Okay, possibly change the targets. or go and change their profile, come back, and then stock on and wing the same person. But if the invitation is accepted, okay, they then go on to establish the relationship and immediately migrate the individual from the platform onto instant messaging platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram, and others. But Telegram is very popular in this space. Okay, now they move the individuals to instant messaging app, but something that the offenders, sorry, the clients in this phase do not know is that some questions that they ask them, okay, even though are not deliberate, are questions that they use to test the offenders. I'll give you an example. A client asked an offender, so which airport, in fact, this was given to us by a cafe owner, one of the cafe owners in 2016, 2017, thereabout. Which airports should I meet you when you are coming? The person said landing airport. That was the end of the relationship. Okay. And so some questions that the victims ask are questions to test whether the offenders are really legitimate or not. Okay. Now, when the offenders fail the test, like the landing airport example I gave you, when the offenders fail the test, the client will end the relationship because typically, if I ask you which restaurant do you like to eat in if you are in Ghana and you mention a restaurant that is not in Ghana, then we know you are not actually in Ghana. Okay. Then the relationship ends, offender goes back, start again. But the moment they pass the test, and so what they do most of the time is that they have Google opened. Now that GPT and Co are around, I'm very sure this wouldn't mean anything to them. And so this framework would change, this pathway would change. Now, when they pass the test, they then move on to start exchanging gifts. So the establishment of the relationship, if there is no test, then there is the exchange of gifts that would happen. Then during the exchange of the gifts, then they start using the client's address to transit items. Okay. Then they create tragic stories. Oh, so he was going to the airport to come home, and then he was robbed or has been stopped at the airport. He was accused of something, and so please, the officers are demanding some amount of money. Please send me the money to give to them and all. And so tragic stories are created. And so experienced clients will terminate the relationship. Inexperienced one will go on to send the money, and this person will not come. That is the scammer-led approach. Then the victim-led approach, they are not interested in any test. They are just here to exploit females. Okay, the man and the girl that I spoke about earlier. And so exchange pictures for money. The offenders will blackmail the victims for exploitation, and the request monies. Experienced ones will terminate, inexperienced ones will send the money, and then the relationship ends. Okay. So let's see some examples. So that's a forged flight ticket. You can clearly tell from here where you have the Spirit Airlines. You can clearly tell that this is forged, right? Now these are also others. And so the group that we spoke to, the 4 individuals that we spoke to, the syndicates, they had one other guy who is actually not part of the team. He is a graphic designer. So the moment they need something like this, they just forward it to him, works on it, sends the thing back to them, and then they go on. So that is what. So this is also another one. This is also another one. So let's look at some real world cases. What actually happens now is that they send people to the countries that so like the US, for instance, they send people there. Okay, so if you have a group of 4, they have one person out there who will be receiving the items and be sending them down to them. Okay, and so they, as whether we are ahead of them or they are ahead of us, they are always ahead of us. Okay, now another thing that they do is that they have what we call high net worth individuals, what we call upper strata clientelism. And so an individual like me who cannot receive about $100,000 in my bank account, the bank would ask me questions. Where did you get it from? Who is sending you this money? What work do you do? I'm just a lecturer. What work do you do? Okay, so these questions will come. But imagine somebody, I don't want to mention names, but imagine somebody who is a musician who can receive such huge amounts of money, okay, in his accounts. They use such an individual. So the money comes to the person. Oh, I went to play a show in London. I got that amount of money. The bank would not question such an individual or a politician. Okay, I don't want to mention this. I've heard a lot of them, but I do not have data on this individual, so we cannot talk about them. And so these are some approaches that these individuals use. Okay. So before we move to the next section, how these people use AI, we have quite a number of slides to cover. How these people use AI, let's see if we have some questions in the chat. Okay. Virtual card. Okay, I think I've read that. Yes, exactly. Please, any questions so far? Anything that has crossed your mind that you want us to discuss? But I've not seen you. You are welcome. You've been here since.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay. Class, please, do you have anything that's crossing your mind that you want to share with us? Or we should continue? Okay, so I learned this in Bible studies. If the leader is talking so much, it means that the people are enjoying the sermon, the Bible studies, or the leader is not actually doing a good job.
Somebody's hand is up, Dr. Barnor.
Okay,
Augustine.
Augustina, please go.
Please, I want to find out, with the advancement of technology, is there any way I can do fraud without being caught?
The people that we interviewed are doing fraud, they've not been caught.
Okay.
They've not been caught. So most of the time it's the soups that the police engage in, or they go as undercover agents to learn. So for instance, the is it BNI. I don't now they call them a different name. BNI. BNI. NIB, yes. The NIB person that we spoke to, he spoke of how a German woman was kidnapped at Taifa and how they got the person. Someone had to go inside, act as one of them to actually fish them out. Okay. And so these people are doing it without being caught. So Augustina, it is possible, but please don't go and do it. I know you won't do it.
Please, so are there tips in how you can do fraud without being caught?
I'm sure our next session will show some of these things, but we can't go deeper into it. So we are going into how they use AI, and so we'll look at it.
Sir,
Yes.
please, I have a question.
Yes, please.
I've been wondering why they are eye lovers. Did your research show why they have particular interest in eye stuff?
Okay. And so, like I said, the last data set we had in November last year pointed out that they have something that they do with M2 MacBooks, which they wouldn't show me. Then they also have something that they call Flash. That one, they described it to me. That they can send money to someone. The person will receive the notification and everything. The next 5 minutes or 10, the money is reversed. Okay. And so that one they told me, but the other ones, well, I think because the machines are flashy, iPhone is classy and all this, maybe, maybe.
Oh, okay. I'm also thinking that maybe it has security features that can cover them up or something.
Apart from the M2 thing that they spoke about, they've not said any other thing apart from that. I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Anna, please, your turn to talk. Vanessa, you go after.
Yes, please. I have a very big concern on this card issue because I also have a testimony.
Okay.
So, this since Visa is like the grandmother of all these cards around the world, is there a
Okay.
way as a security person, because I know they have data policies and other things out there. Is there a way that if a regulator or an institution wants to enforce this security or something on online transactions, they can petition Visa to allow that specific regulator or institution to have it? Like how can a security aspects come about something to propose to Visa for their organizations or for their country?
Okay. So online transactions you are talking about using
Yes,
the
please.
MasterCards.
Yes.
Um, I'm not too sure how that will pan out, but I'm not deflecting your question, but let's look at MTN mobile money. Even though people are reporting, but we say we want MTN. We don't want Telecel and all this. That's the same place we want. It looks something like that. Okay, if the customer is not happy, so I want to transact something fast, like on the move, and you are telling me to go and check my mail when I'm not having access to that mail yet and all those things, which will slow my transaction. Customers may leave your platform. And so if MasterCard begins to take advantage of that, okay, tightening their security in that regard so that individuals may not be able to breach those platforms or those securities. Okay, people will move from let's say Visa to MasterCard. And so I'm sure they also have their thinking behind why they don't allow OTPs or all those. I'm not too sure, but I believe it's something that can work.
Yes, so the convenience to the customer is there. Like you are saying with MTN. We know MTN is fast. It doesn't go down. You don't have issues. That's why a customer will go to MTN because the services they have. But at the same time, if they have the services and then they are the same people who also have a lot of fraud activities on their system. That I'm saying that from a security point of view, if let's say so for MTN is Ghana, maybe other countries, I don't know. So if at all the countries and the regulators come together and say, look, your service is good, but the fraud activities on your platform is not helping our business. From a security point of view, can't we sort of have a policy, something to propose to them to put this OTP or MFA something on their service so that at least the safety of a customer to also be achieved. Yeah.
I understand your point, Anna. I understand it perfectly. One thing that I've not said earlier, I should have said earlier, is that it is very difficult. I'm not saying what I'm saying is wrong. It's not. It's very difficult to combat cybercrime because of transborder policies and legislation. Okay, so something that may apply in let's say South Africa may not apply in Ghana, and so when was it? I've forgotten where I read it though. But if someone commits an offense here against someone in, let's say, Ireland, are we going to use that, policies in Ghana to prosecute the person or that of Ireland? And that's why the $100 million group were taken back to the US. Okay, and so when you look at that too, you may say that now we are struggling with Ghana and DSTV, but DSTV is working elsewhere. And so in my country, if you are not allowing my people to buy things online without all those things, okay, if you want to enforce it, and that goes against, let's say, the company that is supposed to enforce the thing, okay, they may back out of your country and go elsewhere. And so we may have to look at some of these things not to discourage people from coming to your space. I'm sure it is something that is on the table for people for people that matter, people who matter to look at. And I believe you are there.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Vanessa. Vanessa.
Last week, yes, please can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay, last week, someone called me and he was saying that I knew he was a scammer. He was saying that I'm part of a group, WhatsApp group, and they are having a meeting, and I'm not available or something. The story was even saying was not adding up. So I should check my phone for a code or a message, and then he'll get back to me so I can add me to the group and things. But I knew he was a scammer, so I didn't mind him. He dropped the line. But to my surprise, I saw that there was a code on my WhatsApp. It was saying that enter this code if you want to switch to another phone. And then I was surprised because I have enabled I've forgotten the name, the code, the verification, yes, on WhatsApp. So I was wondering how he was able to like still get that code to come to my phone.
Okay. So like I said from the beginning, I've been sitting in this class for some time that possibly you didn't know I was here. So like I said, last 2 weeks I was in this class. And then the first meeting too, I was part when people were asking we should close at 9, I was part of the class. Okay. So what these individuals do is that they remain in the group quietly. They don't talk. And then they observe all the things happening there. Okay. So let me give a practical example. I was part of a group and we're contributing money. So I kept telling them that, please, based on my experience, when I contribute, don't put my name and the amount I contributed on the group. People didn't understand. Okay, they didn't insult me though, but they didn't understand. But I kept emphasizing that, please, even if I don't contribute much, don't put my name on it. Fast forward, someone started sending messages to people asking for money in the name of another person. So the person observed all those whose names were, popped up. Okay, so Kofi paid 500, Amma paid 500, somebody paid 1,000, and they were pointing out people who were even outside. Okay, and so this is what they do. They will remain there quietly, and then all of a sudden start sending messages. Another example is last Saturday, my counselor sent me a WhatsApp message. So he doesn't send WhatsApp messages, and it's an old man, an old professor. So I called him. I was like, "Oh, Prof, you sent me a message. I hope everything's okay." He said, "No, his phone had been hacked." And so the moment you start receiving such messages, please, if you're not sure, the person is asking you for money, please call. So what the person did to you is what we call smishing. SMSHING, smishing. So they use SMS. Anybody having your number can send you a message. So they can send you a code, enter the code, and then they would have access to your phone. But like you said, you have the multi-factor authentication that would protect you. And so you are secure.
Oh, okay. So even with the multi-factor authentication, they can still send a code. I thought once you do it, they will not be able to send any code to you.
I have your number. I can send you a message, and I can send you a code.
Okay. No, that code came from WhatsApp.
Yes, from WhatsApp.
Yes. No, he did not WhatsApp it with his number. It came like with WhatsApp's account, like verified account that this is the code to switch to another.
I'm not too sure about that though, but there are two things. You can block people, people from adding you to a group if the person doesn't have your number. But I'm not sure you can block people from sending you WhatsApp messages, and possibly that's what the person did.
Okay. Thank you. Because he was doing it to other people in the group too. But surprisingly, he said,
"Person has been there quietly and you didn't notice."
Thank you.
All right, please. How do you get these online scammers to reveal their trade secrets? Do you have to pay them before they give you closure? And that is from Solomon. Solomon, we don't pay them. When I was going through this, I think I missed out this one. The incentivization. We did not pay any of them. And at any point in time when they don't want to talk, we can't force them. We don't force them to talk. Okay. We tried, I've forgotten the year, but we tried having a focus group discussion with some of them those days that we started the work. And whilst we were standing, they didn't want to sit. Whilst we were standing there in charge, this was like, this one has been doing that. This one has, then they made the whole thing funny, and then we left the discussion. Okay. And so finding them, well, we went through somebody, established trust, went through another person, established trust. So we use snowball. When you start your writing, I'm sure you come across some of these things. Okay. Okay, so let's round up with how they use AI and some AI tools that they use. We'll see some examples shortly. And so initially they were using what we call camshow. Camshow is I think there's a mistake in the writing. Camshow is the old school approach. Okay, now what is camshow? So for an individual to have a video of you, okay, modeling before a camera, these people or these offenders usually bought the pictures of lesser known models, okay? And these models had naked pictures, naked videos. And so the moment the man in the diagram that we saw asked for upper upper body picture, these people will just pull out one of them and then send to them. Oh, I'm looking for this type of picture. And the person will pull out one of them. So they might have bought a sequenced set of pictures, and then the person requests and then sends. Person requests and then send. Okay, so that is one. And then in instances where they want videos, the videos that the cam shows that they purchase, some come with videos. So those that come with videos would have different prices. And then those that come without videos would also have different prices. And so those are the things that they showed to them. Now, then they moved beyond just giving them the cam show to manipulating the images. So we have two images here. The arrow is pointing to the face. Look at the face for image one. Oh, sorry. Look at the face for image one. Look at the face for image two. These are two different individuals. Same place, same pose. Look at the message on the paper. Look at the message on the paper. Same place, different face, different message. Same place, different face, different message. And so they moved from just cam shows to manipulating the images using Photoshop. So that is the first step. So initially they were cam shows. Then they moved to Photoshop, manipulating it to Photoshop and with Photoshop. Now we have moved from Photoshop to using Python codes. So you can see the Python dependencies installing behind here. Okay, this was given to me by the guys I interviewed in November last year. So this the current form of data that we have. Okay, now let me play the video for you to see what's happening here. All right. Please, what did you observe? Someone says, hey, someone says things they happen. Someone also says, hey, it's a long question here. Okay, Dr. Divine. Okay, so let's do that first. Dr. Divine is saying that beyond the cross-border and limited regulatory issues, victims are guided to purchase specific brands of cards with weak regulatory or compliance links. For instance, gift cards are not regulated like bank transfers. In my thesis, we had something on gift cards. I didn't show it in this this thing. Thank you so much, Dr. Divine. Any ideas how they guide clients to some of these digital wallets? And do you have some examples of these vulnerable digital wallets? I have, in fact, in my thesis, I had examples of how in fact, those ones like the $100, $200, $20, and all those. I had some examples. I'm not too sure where. I'll try as much as possible to share, Dr. Divine. We actually have those. We actually have those. So those ones they don't target. So my guy, I don't want to, I'm tempted to mention names, but my guy told me that they have classes. So those ones are for the small boys, those ones are so they will tell you that the gift cards and things are for the small the small ones, the $100 and $20 guys. But I'll try as much as possible to share those information with you. I'll look for them. Okay, so as these things they happen. Hey, like EU, GDPR, what governs Africans and how can we change what we have to that of the EU if we have none? This question, please, I'll highlight it and share it with Prof. Maybe Prof can advise on that one. He's more into the policies. OnlyFans is also used. Yes. Thank you, Benjamin. Okay. And so what you are seeing here, per my data collection, the guys told me that you can have cam show at a particular price. You can have manipulated images like the ones that I showed you with the Photoshop at another price. But when you go into this one, they can program the thing for you at a price, and they can give you the code and also show you how to use it also at another price. They can sell this as high as 10,000 Ghana cedis. What you are seeing here. As high as 10,000 Ghana cedis, yes. Okay. And so what's another example that I forgot, I don't know if the person shared with me, but you may see that there may be a female here where the black guy is. Okay, a female, and then the image here will also be a female. Now, the reason they do that is that they may be posing as females. And so the moment a call comes through, okay, they may have to bring that same female to come and respond to the call. Okay, and so when the female comes, it is easier for the system to mimic a female with another female agent, a female picture, okay, than mimicking a male with a female picture or video. So the mannerism will be different. And so the moment a call comes through, it is a female that they will present to the person. If it's a man posing as this man here, then a man can come because a man's mannerism may be different. It's actually different from female mannerisms. And so these are the things they use. So they sell the software, they sell the codes. If you want the codes, they have a price for it. If you want just the application, they have prices for it. If you want Photoshop digitally manipulated image, they have prices for it. But the cam shows, they buy it from the people outside. Now, this is another one. I showed this one during my defense.
I mean, by it works like magic. I mean, I can nod my head, I can wiggle my head, I can blink my eyes, and hello, shine my teeth. Magic, brother, magic.
So that is another one. Now, apart from the images that you are seeing, they can also manipulate the voices. Okay. Now, so what are some of the things we need to look out for? So what are some of the red flags? Too good to be true. Things that they promise are just too good to be true. And then secondly, they move very fast. So today they are live on you. Tomorrow they are buying you things. Okay. So these are some of the things that you need to watch out for. Also, they avoid video calls. Okay. And so the moment someone calls you, or someone sends you a message, call the person, like I did to the professor who sent me the message. He doesn't send messages. So the moment he sent me a message, I was like, oh, what is this prof looking for? Let me call him. Okay. Now, I doubt the local, I call them local because what they call it, typically they speak tree, the local mobile money fraudsters. Okay. If you receive messages from them, call them. They won't speak. Most of the numbers that they use are even blocked. Okay. Now, they use tragic stories and emotional manipulation, and then they request for money. Sorry, they request monies. Okay, that's an ultimate red flag. And then one of the papers that I read looked at the linguistic construction. I've forgotten the title, but it has to do with how they construct their sentences. Okay, because most of them are dropouts. If you carefully look at how they write, you find that they're actually not educated as they say. Okay, but of course, the smart ones will write, give it to GPT, rewrite for me, and they copy, come and paste. Okay. So what should I do next? So first of all, terminate the relationship. Secure all accounts, so multiple authentication. Then report, and report, not as a researcher though. Then you have to warn others about it like we are doing now. Then, yes, take care of your emotional well-being. Now, typically when someone sends you a request, so that's the winking. When they wink you, look at the name here, Sam Miller. This is a military. Look at the username. Is it? No, this is the username. This is the accounts. No, this is the handle, yes. So look at the handle, one dance king. Then you can tell that no, this guy is not true. Okay. When the person joined, November 2024. So they create new accounts, come at you, you are done, they leave. Okay. Now there are questions in here. Okay. We really have to be vigilant. Yes. Allow them to eat. They have a small device that can even change the voice. Yes. There's a device like that. I think I saw it on TikTok or something. That can they connect it to their phone and then they talk and you hear different voices. Yes. Okay. Now, one last thing I want us to look at is the image manipulation, the AI image manipulation. These are two different images. So the image you see here, the Miller guy, another person would pick this image, okay, and then superimpose the image on one image on another, and then you have a different image. The reason this is very difficult to identify or to trace is that when people send you images, okay, we do what we call reverse search. So drag and drop the image in Google, and it will tell you how many times the image has been used. Okay. Now, it is very difficult to track this image or reverse engineer this image, reverse search this image, because it is picking images, okay, or expressions from here and expressions from here, and then giving you that. Okay. And so when you reverse search this image, you won't find it. And so this is what they are using now. So you see a profile picture, if you try reverse searching, you won't find anything because they have put two different images together. Okay, right. And so tonight, these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you. And I believe you have enjoyed the class. The last thing I'm sharing with you is an image from the data collection that we had. Anybody can see that this is a MacBook screenshot. We took it on a Wednesday, 4:45. You see the time. Please pay attention to the time here, 4:45 a.m. The time I collected the data was in the afternoon, though. It was not 4:45 a.m. It is because this individual is using an IP. Okay, sorry. What's the name of that thing? Virtual, they have a name they call it. VPN, virtual.
Yeah, virtual private network.
Yes, virtual private network. Yeah. So on the day I collected this particular screenshot from this guy, I have the recording still somewhere on my phone. He told me that there were times that they could use the client's computer without the client knowing. So please try and watch The Accountant 2. It's a new movie. I think it's 2025 movie. Where the person was using the small boys and girls to use somebody's machine without the person's knowledge. The moment I saw that in that movie, I knew then what the guy was telling me was actually true. They could use your machine without your knowledge, unless the machine is actually off. And so this is something that aids them to hide their identities. Right. Thank you so much for your attention, people. I believe you have enjoyed yourselves. And these are some questions I wanted us to discuss, but I think time is fast spent. So we would thank ourselves and then we'll take questions from the radar. Thank you so much, please. All right. I have two hands up. Edith. Edith Ado.
So,
Yes.
I wanted to ask, in your delivery, there was a point you mentioned that when you have like there are gadgets that individuals are able to, the cyber criminals are able to use to change their voices and all that. So for someone like, I just want to ask, what measures are put in place to sanitize our social space? Because I'm an avid user of Snapchat. And when you go on Snapchat, you see individuals, like the way people advertise their businesses. You see individuals advertising that you can contact them for credit cards. You can contact them to buy these gadgets, like the voice changing gadgets. If you want to do a video call with your client, they have the gadgets that can change your face and all of those things. So I feel like right now it's an open space, it's an open market because nothing is being done to deter these people. So what measures are being put in place to like sanitize the social space as
I
well?
could be sure.
As if we're going back. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the first one.
Edith. There are some social media spaces that are fertile grounds for these offenders. I've been in a Telegram group for some time trying to learn. So there was a paper I was writing on digital contraband, trying to learn how these people even sell these things that we are talking about. And in one of our presentations, I've forgotten, but it was actually with Prof and one of the classes. Someone mentioned that Telegram is not really regulated like WhatsApp. I don't know how Snapchat operates. I've never used it before. I just hear people saying it. But I've also seen WhatsApp status, okay, of individuals trying to tell people that if you want shipping from Germany, I have blocks there. If you want shipping from here, I have blocks there. Okay. And so what I would say is that I don't know how government Twitter was banned in Nigeria some years ago, but there was an outcry about it, and they immediately had to resolve it. And so there must be a balance between diplomacy and control. That's all I can say. If you want to do that, because whatever you do, you still find these people anywhere, anywhere, anywhere. Okay. So Edith, I believe I've tried answering your question.
Yes, please. But for instance, I think somewhere last year or early this year, the CEO of Telegram was arrested in France.
Yes.
So and eventually when I followed the case, I mean he's still doing the whole court process and everything, but he says he does not allow the users of his platform to use the platform for dubious activities. That is he stands, as long as you are consented to the privacy policies as a user, he is not responsible for what happens on the platform. So in this situation, what happens?
Now bring us to the transborder policies and regulations. So something that is, you can also say that, okay, if not he can, but his lawyers can also say that if the laws in your country is not binding on him to do something, why would you use your laws to prosecute him? Okay, so the best thing is for you to shut down the platform in your country if that's what you are having, if that's the issue you are having. But this particular question lies in the, I'm sure your class.
And you are doing the same in your country.
Also, this one was really.
I believe we are okay now. Let's move on to Benjamin.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Ben.
I use this software a lot, especially when I don't go to church on Sundays. So
Okay.
TeamViewer, where you're able to control another computer from your house with a phone or a laptop.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it one of those softwares that can give access to people to get into your machine or system?
For TeamViewer and VNC, those ones you might have shared your IPs, okay, but these people didn't tell me exactly the exact software they use, and so I may not be able to tell whether it's TeamViewer or VNC. But those ones, I'm sure you need to share your IP, your IP, and possibly your MAC address and all those things for the person to have access to your machine. But my people did not mention some of the things they even said. They would not tell you. They will not show you how the thing is done. But some of the things that they think, okay, this one is okay to go out, they shared with me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you too, Christiana.
Hi, sir. So I just wanted to find out, with the findings you made, concerning this whole thing where they are able to use your PC, especially when it's turned on without you knowing. And I think the whole camera thing on the computer too, as you are working, I think indirectly they can also be watching you when you're using it. Is there like a software, an app that can prevent all this or at least reduce the usage? Because I think it's becoming frequent. And so in the case of your study, were you able to come up with some solutions, or were you able to suggest some solutions, maybe a software or something that could help with that?
Okay. So just last Friday, I was in a meeting with Prof and a group of people, and I was establishing that there's a difference between what I did, which is cybercrime, and cybersecurity. So those doing cybersecurity would have to look at how we can block some of these things. The easiest way you can do this is my ordinary person's knowledge. The easiest way you can do this is to put um, uh, some people will put masking tapes on their cameras. So if they're not using the camera should be blank, should be dead. Okay. Most of these new laptops have camera closures or something like that. My HP, for instance, has something like that you can just push and then it closes the camera. So if the camera is not in use, it is actually blank. It's blind. As to how the people would you will not get someone to use, you will not know. You will not know. So well the information, sorry, not information, the cybersecurity people would be better placed to address this particular issue. Okay. And so
Is there a way to know whether your computer or gadget is being used elsewhere without your knowledge?
I don't know how to answer this, Chris. I'm not too sure about that part of the whole situation. Okay.
Maybe Dr. Agozi, the man who likes count climbing mountains. Last week he didn't come to class, he was climbing mountains in Afajatu and stuff. He didn't even do it. So let him answer that part.
Dr. Divine.
Hi, Prof, thank you. So oftentimes, personally, what I do is to casually check my activity logs on my computer.
Yeah.
So you could simply just probably go into your use Windows and R and generate your Windows prompt and maybe put in like you want to delete your cache on your computer and just randomly look through all the temporary files and temporary activities that your computer has been used to. Anything that your machine does, there's data stored on it. So yeah, if you are the user of the machine, you know certain things you've done. If you see any copy of things that are done that doesn't look like maybe you visit a certain website and there's some temporary data on that, and you know this is not a website I usually would visit or something, I would probably ask, okay, has anyone used my machine? I'll probably ask friends around or something. But the machine I use for work, I use it alone. And so if there's anything unusual, I would know. Just like doing some anomaly detection with your device or something. Otherwise, you may probably also want to look out for some softwares that you can install on your machine to actually track what the machine does. So, there's no easy way around it. Just like Dr. Barnor was saying, it's not like an easy way to track these things that much. So, like I remember Prof telling you guys one time, if you're not using the machine, keep it offline. Disconnect your internet. Particularly in my house, if I'm going to bed, I turn off. In fact, I pull out it. I am that paranoid that I pull out the plugs of my router and everything just to make sure there is nothing. My phone, I put it on airplane mode, put off my wireless, turn off my data, anything to make sure your machine is not accessed cannot be accessed, or your device cannot be accessed remotely. But yes, aside that, I'm not too sure. Maybe you can also give it to some tech person to also check and do the vetting for you and see, maybe download all that data, analyze the things you do and see what are the frequent things you do consistently and what are the ones that are outliers. Okay, so separate the inliers from the outliers, you see. But otherwise, I can lay my hand on something specific that you see, just do this and you know that this actually you will be able to tell. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Joy. Benjamin.
Yeah, so my question has to do with the IMEI of our phones.
Okay.
How is it something that can be used to clone our phones, or can it be used to get access to our phones?
I've not come across anything like that. I've not come anything across like that. For your phone, usually these people are interested in your numbers, personal information. No? So for them to be able to do SIM swap and all those forms of crime, so getting access to your phone, typically using your IMEI number, I doubt. I doubt. I doubt.
I'm asking this because now our phones, for example, those who use the Apple iPhones, even they have their credit card linked to their phones, almost every information linked to their phones. And I don't know how they do the cloning of the phones, but if someone is able to clone your phone, they have access to everything of yours, from contacts to your credit card to your social media. So I was thinking maybe the IMEI was something that could be used because some of us, we always send our IMEIs out to people to always do something for us, to check some things for us. So
I actually doubt if I'm interested in your credit card number and your data on your phone, I would rather go for your iCloud account. Okay, I will go for your iCloud credentials rather than your IMEI number. Okay. Ben, is that okay?
Sir.
Dr. Barnor, yes. So I also think, like you said, IMEI is not like an IP address. I don't know if that's what it's saying. It doesn't allow any connection channel to your device. I'm not sure. Yeah. So yeah, like it does not grant any remote control. So I don't think it's possible.
Thank you so much, Doc. Hannah, please go ahead.
Yes, so I was coming to say that maybe we should also be more cautious in how we use our gadgets. There are some of us that we don't even remember the last time our phones went off. Like it doesn't go off. Our laptops, we don't shut down. We go to places, we save passwords. We buy things on Amazon, we save our details. Like because we want it easy, that the next time we visit, we don't need to type. So all these things also contribute to that. So imagine you've saved all this information on your devices, maybe a friend, because now you don't even know who is your friend, is using your phone and have the opportunity to chance on a detail of your something, take a screenshot, or you mistakenly yourself even send it to somebody. You might never know. So maybe we should also be more cautious and then take some responsibilities in how we manage these devices that we use.
Very well.
Thank you.
Very well. Very well. Very well. It means we should up our cyber hygiene game. Don't write your passwords and put them under your keyboard. Right. All right. Please, do you have any other question? I think. Okay. 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 So thank you. Thank you all so much. I've enjoyed the discussions and the presentations. I've also learned a lot from the comments that came through. And I believe we'll have more times to have.
But I want to learn, no, not to teach. I want to learn how they do the hacking and things.
Hannah, we thank you for your interest. But you have access to so much more than everybody in the class. So start from where you have access. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. Dr. Barnor, you understand me? So
yes, I understand. I was wondering.
She has more access than anybody here. So
anyway, this is information.
I understand, but okay. Thank you so much, Prof.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Barnor. We are glad that you've given us insights into some of the information that we need to know. But much of the thing has to do with our own behavior and character. And somebody was asking a question about whether there's a way you can prevent your phone from being cloned. If somebody can get close to you to clone your phone, then your phone was cloned. You yourself have been cloned before the phone was cloned. The person got that close to you, got access to your phone and cloned it. Then you yourself have been cloned. Either you have been cloned or you have been kidnapped and something has been done to you, or your negligence could have occurred somewhere. So most of the things start from your human behavior. And then the value, how much value you place on yourself and what you are doing. So some of the things are there. You will not take certain steps because you know that you carry certain sensitive information. There are people here that because of the type of information that they tend to work with, things like 6 March, I'm going to Accra, I'm going to Labadi Pleasure Beach to go and chill with friends. They can't do it. Because if they, as a human being, if they find themselves vulnerable in any state, and somebody is able to kidnap them or get them in a corner to ask them for a ransom, they may end up trading national security. So they need to carry, or global security. So they need to carry themselves in a way that will protect both the security they carry and their own lives. So please, value the data that you have and what you tend to protect with your human behavior. Whatever you are doing, please note that it starts from you. It starts from you. When Dr. Wano was doing the complex diagrams, people were more concerned about the diagram and from where it goes here. I was asking myself that, have you actually positioned yourself where you are in the diagram? If you look at your daily life, do you think you are in any? Are you the victim or the scammer who doesn't know you are the scammer? Sometimes they can take your phone to be doing the scamming, and you don't even know that you are the one doing the scamming. Yeah. So please, some of these things are very real, and as we go through our daily lives and our daily steps, please let's just be very careful. Let's be very careful how we engage with others and give them access to ourselves and our knowledge. Yeah. But thank you for the engagement. All those of you who were very actively engaging from Hannah to Edith, Augustina and Co. Thank you very, very much for your interactive engagement and relevant questions that you were asking. I'm very glad about that. And Dr. Divine, we are welcome back. You didn't bring us anything, but you are welcome back.
Prof, okay. I'll meet you specially.
But you didn't tell me you're going. I was asking myself, how is this guy on the mountain when we are in class? I said, then I just realized that the whole week I didn't see you. Okay, then. Thank you very, very much. But well, all the same, we are grateful to God that you are back and you are sound. Yeah, Dr. Divine, please, when is the last session or the last 2 sessions so that we know?
Probably this week. So this week is the 5th week. Unless you want to have an additional meeting with them next week, that's fine. But this is our last week.
I need to go through and by the class, by the way, the assignment I gave you, it has made active online or in Sakana. You can go there and then upload your answer to the question. The ones that you have been working on for some time now. Okay, so if there's anything I wanted to add, it was going to be with issues with website strategies. I think today Dr. Nias given us some exposition to that area. The other thing I wanted to just talk about was about incident reporting, but some of these things are not. They're not things that we will not go into detail in data governance. So I will not worry so much now if we're not able to go into it. I think we are giving them enough information to challenge them to think broadly and to be able to put in the necessary measures and act and take the necessary steps in their own way, personally and beyond in their homes. Maybe next week we'll meet for just an hour. So that I introduce the examination question and how it will be structured for you. And then I think by that time I would have decided on whether you are doing a take-home or a come to write in person. So Dr. Divine and I will discuss it. The next week, maybe just for 1 hour, 6:30 to 7:30, or to 7:45 to 7 o'clock. We will just go through after examination. If you mention, everybody will show up. So we'll go through what you should expect. Maybe there may be some things you'd like me to examine you on. Sometimes I ask students, what do you want us to examine you on? And to give us a mutual agreement on how the examination should be, because we don't have much time. Yeah. Thank you very much. So Dr. Divan, we'll talk after maybe either on phone after the class, then you can give me direction on the nature of exams we should give to them. Thank you very much, all the same class. So see you next week on the final.
So, Prof.
Yeah.
Please, I want to ask Dr. Divine whether next week, the in-person, are you meeting on the main campus or you are meeting
this week or next?
No, this week, this Saturday. Are you meeting on the main campus?
It will be communicated to you on the page. No.
Okay. Divine.
Yes. Hello. Yeah.
Please. My email is still not working. It's saying that it's not working basically.
Keep praying. It will come.
Why don't you send an official email? Because if you use your mouth to say, you can't track it. You have to add your details to it so that it can track it for you. What's the issue?
It was Benjamin who was asking about the email.
Boss,
Yeah,
yeah.
Those whose names I have taken, I have forwarded to the IT guys. So I haven't gotten feedback from them as to whether it's been done yet. That's why I said I will communicate to you when it's done.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask that since you said it's the 5th week, meaning that the following week will be revision week.
Yes. But if a lecturer
Then
come and let him discuss with you, it is better than you sitting down and revise. You are revising and the lecturer says, come and let's revise with me. He will give you direction or you want to revise everything, okay?
Oh no, I'm talking about the general class, like the rest of the lectures, not your own.
Oh, every lecturer will do as Dr. Divan has told that the lecturers, I think lecturers know that today is this week is the last week. But if any lecturer is going to make any arrangements, Dr. Divine will know, so you can confirm with him after the lecturer has told you.
Okay. I'll be glad if they'll give us the examination questions ahead of time so that we prepare well.
Huh?
What
did this guy say? We should give
no,
you
like no, not the question. I'm saying the areas so that we will prepare well towards the
No,
exam.
you are not entitled to any area. Nobody is supposed to give you areas. Why? The lecturer didn't teach you areas. He taught you everything he had. So don't think of, if the lecturer chooses to give you areas, that's his decision. But you should not be expecting areas from anybody. I mean, just get that straight. Okay, I hope that's clear. Right? There's no what do you call it? There's no statute in the university handbook that lecturers should give students areas before they write exams. If your lecturer decides to, that's fine. Okay. Please, I hope you have that clear.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
The guy, he's a long time he left school. Okay, so please, he's right by saying that is a discretion on a lecturer, and even some lecturers give areas because they want to actually mislead you. You go and read that one, and the other one side will come. What will you do? You can't beat the lecturer because he told you to read ABCD and he wrote EFG. It is advisable to prepare for all. Yeah. But I think most of you who try to do the assignment I gave you, the 5 questions, it covers almost everything that we have learned. It gives you an idea of the kind of questions I can ask you. So I gave it to you very early in the semester. The reason was to help you to be able to think through the questions that were the lessons that were taken. So that as you go through the different topics, you okay, this topic, this is how I should look at it. The other thing that we did, Dr. Divine and I did, is that we brought in case studies in the engagement. I'll give you a preamble, then we'll discuss the case. So it's very likely that you can go to exam hall and you see a case, and then you have to discuss the case and deduce certain things from the case. So after our approach, I think we have been given signals and then areas, if there are anything called areas, before the time is up. Today too, for example, we have done a very good discussion on online fraud, cybercrime, and then the source of data. The topic he has covered, I think Dr. Barnor, if you can share some of your papers with them, your publications, that illustrates some of the things that you're talking about, maybe 1 or 2. The topic, what he was discussing was very relevant. There's nothing, what is wrong if you're asking a question that cybercrime is increasing in Ghana. Discuss how what role data plays in such criminal activities. You should be able to discuss it. But he even gave you diagrams to show you. Yeah. I don't know whether we have permission to receive his slides. I don't know whether the slides are you going to share your slides with us?
Yes, Prof, I'll share.
Okay, then good. He said share the slides, so that's even a good starting point. So please, listen to what Dr. Rima has said, and don't go and tax any lecturer. Yeah. But I've been seeing you this Sunday, Dr. Rima, Sunday they did some test or something like that online, and the quiz master put something on, I think it was on Python programming or something like that. The person just put he put some areas there in the bracket. So I said, these guys are writing a quiz on Python and for 30 minutes and they have been giving what they should look out for. They are right. Did you see it? I saw it in their post on their platform.
Yes, Prof, I did. I saw it too. Yeah.
So I told them, I said, hey, they are fortunate, even giving areas. So maybe that's where he's coming from. That's where he's coming from. He saw areas in the quiz. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. Edith Yawan, good evening. I've heard of you today, but I've not talked. Okay then. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay.
Solomon, Into, thank you too. Rosemary, thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Anthony, thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Maria, thank you. Vanessa.
Thank you, Prof.
Pascal, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
Jacums, thank you. Clement, thank you. Sabina, thank you. Sana, thank
Good
you.
night, Prof.
Thank you. Yeah, Sabina, thank you. Edith, thank you. Good night. Lucas, William, Esther, MFF, thank you. William, FF, thank you. Solomon Hammond, thank you. Benjamin Gumashi, thank you. McAfee, thank you. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. Agnes, hey, you are there. Thank you. Jesse, upon watching, thank you. Bridget Okansi, thank you. Thank you. Naomi, thank you.